Hari Hari Bol. Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivanadari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivanadari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Nandana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Nandana Yashoda Nandana Jana Nandana Yashoda Nandana Raja Jana Nandana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivanadari Yashoda Nandana Raja Jana Nandana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Satchidananda, Jaya Satchidananda, Jaya Satchidananda, Jaya Satchidananda. Jaya Satchidananda, Jaya Satchidananda, Jai Satchidananda, Jai Satchidananda, Jai Satchidananda, Jai Satchidananda, Satchidananda, Jaya Satchidananda. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Pavana, Srila Prabhupada, Pavana, Jaya Prabhupada, Adhika Pavana, Srila Prabhupada. Patita Pavana, Srila Prabhupada, Patita Pavana, Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki, Shivo Navdevanandi Hari Bol. Nitya Lila Bhavishnu Vishnu Padapanamansa Parivraja Kuchasta Sadasisiman Aboichana Ravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitya Lila Bhavishnu Vishnu Padapanamansa Parivraja Kuchasta Sadasisiman Bhakti Lakakshila Siddha Deva Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nitya Lila Bhavishnu Vishnu Padapanamansa Parivraja Kuchasta Sadasisiman Bhakti Rakakshida Deva Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nitya Lila Pavishtum Vishnu Pada Paramahansa Parivraja Kachasta Sadasisiman Shila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nitya Lila Pavishtum Vishnu Pada Paramahansa Parivraja Kachasta Sadasisiman Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki jai. Nitya Lila Pavishtum Vishnu Pada Paramahansa Parivraja Kachasta Sadasisiman Srila Jagannath Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Nitya Lila Pavishtum Vishnu Pada Paramahansa Parivraja Kachasta Sadasisiman Bhakti Vinod Thakur Mahashai ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavandi ki jai. Namachar Shila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Vishwa Vaishnava Raj Shava Acharya Vrinda ki jai. Vrinda Pariva Acharya Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Sri Guru Gauranga Radha Brajeswara ki jai. Sri Sri Guru Gandharvika Govinda Sundaram ki jai. Sri Sri Radha Gopi Ballabha ki jai. Sri Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Sri Giriraj Maharaj ki jai. Nitai Gaura Brahmanandi Hari Bol. Bulgaria Yatra ki jai. Burgas Yatra ki jai. Plovdiv Yatra ki jai. Sofia Yatra ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru Gauranga, Srila Prabhupada. So today we have the surprise shloka of today. That surprise shloka of today, Victor, you can choose from here. Anywhere you pick, this will be your special welcome shloka.
Do you want to break Ekadashi?
On time.
On time, okay, so later.
So, Sanikarshotramartyanam Anadarana Karanam Gangang Hitva Yatan Yambas Tatratyo Yati Shuddhaye. Familiarity breeds contempt. In this world, familiarity breeds contempt. For example, one who lives on the banks of the Ganges might travel to some other body of water to be purified. That's what Narada Muni is saying to the sages. Very, very interesting. Yesterday somebody mentioned that, I think you. Somebody comes in and he sees Bulgaria, he sees Seven Lakes, Vila Mountains, and everything, and he says, wow, what a wonderful place. But if you live here, you think, London, where's my London? I have to see London, I have to see Paris, I have to see Tokyo. It's a disease. A disease we human beings really have. It is, there's another saying which emphasizes the same thing. You don't know what you have until you lose it. Bah. What a horror, huh? And you can apply it to the family. We don't know what we have with our family until we behave so badly that the family doesn't want us anymore, or something like that. Such things happen, right? Very serious. And we always hope the hope is there. Oh, there's something much better somewhere else. And this is keeping us, pulling us around the world or in this or that. We're always changing. But the real answer for everything is right there in your heart. It's Sri Paramatma, Chaitya Guru. Guru Shastra Sadhu Vakya Chitete Koriyai. You can consult the Shastras, you can consult the Sadhus, you can consult with the Guru Tattva, but you also have to check with your heart. As a matter of fact, without the heart, you won't find Guru, you won't find anything. So it is actually that relationship with our Lord in the heart, which is the crucial spiritual communion. And when we observe others, we have concepts. How real those concepts are, we don't know. We really don't. It says when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to this world, in his own Yoga Maya Lila, he didn't know he was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Yuga Avatar. And his devotees also didn't know. This manifested. It manifested gradually. Achintya. Like Krishna, when he's on the lap of Mother Yashoda, he's feeling, I'm the baby of hers. If he's going in the mood of the Supreme Personality of God, that the Vishvarupa, how can the Vishvarupa be held in the arms of Mother Yashoda? It will be a very heavy load. So the special Leela covers, therefore actually Yoga Maya, she's so amazing. She covers everything according to the need. How can she do that? Where does Yoga Maya get that power from? From Radharani. Radharani is Yoga Maya. And Radharani is like enticing, organizing, magically manifesting the most diverse Leelas. Incomprehensible for us. Gopal, my Lord, all the other Goswamis, they have so beautiful deities they're worshipping. And I only got Shalagram Shilas. So then Nishinga Chaturdasi came. When Nishinga Chaturdasi came, we still have the decoration here from Nishinga Chaturdasi, Lord Nishinga Dev. When that, oh, I forgot the translation again.
Okay, I can translate like this.
Is it?
Yeah. It's okay.
Is good? Okay. When Nishinga Chaturdasi came the night before, he was crying. Oh, my Lord, you appeared for Prahlad from a column. And I cannot get any Thakurji to decorate you nicely, to do all the fanciness of deity worship, no? Deity worship can be quite fancy. Like my favorite deity, Soho Street, rather, London Ishvara. So fancy. I was enamored with them when I first saw them. And then I was given an assignment. And with the assignment of Radha London Ishvara, I was sent to USA. But then Krishna changed all the plans and he sent me to South America. Funny world, no? There are many things that happen. Anyhow, so the next morning, after we're going to sleep crying, the next morning he took his buckets down with the Shalagram Shila, and what's that? One of the Shalagram Shila had opened and had manifested the little deity of Radha Raman. He said, "What's this? My God!" I mean, we are hearing this self-manifested deity. Self-manifested deity. Hare Krishna. I mean, only that word, self-manifested deity. So he went to Jiva Goswami, he went to that. Look what happened, look what happened. Everybody went, wow, wow. Self-manifested Krishna. Can you imagine what kind of a festival they were having there? He said he has the beauty of Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Govindaji, and Radha Gopinath all in one. So, Radha Raman, oh, very special. So then, of course, ever since, he's been worshipped there. And Radharani is represented as Varshana Shila, as a stone from the Varshana hill, where Radharani has her childhood pastimes. Again, Krishna consciousness is such a thing beyond form and still worships the divine form. Govardhan Shila, Shalagram Shila. So therefore, familiarity is something dangerous. How can this be understood? Even with a spiritual master, too much familiarity, not recommended. Too much familiarity with your own devotees you are worshipping. It brings easily and some kind of envy. In this world, we're always comparing each other. What does he do? What does he eat? What he doesn't eat? How does he sleep? How doesn't sleep? Always we're in this comparing. And our ego takes advantage of that. And some other gives us a feeling. Maybe there's nothing special. Whereas the Krishna conscious view is everything is special. So I look at these books of Srimad Bhagavatam there. They're more than special. How much work went into them? How much love went into them? Starting with Krishna inspiring Srila Prabhupada. The Srimad Bhagavatam was not translated to English before Prabhupada. It's a cream of Vedic knowledge, but it was not there. Prabhupada took it upon himself to do that. It was like his life mission. That he did, besides making his mission. He was translating at night. You know, everybody said Prabhupada is translating at night. When I was in Schloss Rettershof, where Prabhupada was visiting there, I wanted to look what my guru said, does at night. So I stayed up. And there was a guard in front of the door. They always kept a guard. So I sat down with the guard. And from inside the room I heard Prabhupada translating Srimad Bhagavatam. My God, how did I feel? We are doing everything. Prabhupada is translating. Working day and night for Krishna. The biggest temple in the world is in the internet. It's called Vanipedia. what you can find in Vanipedia is beyond imagination.
Това, което може да намерите в Ванипедия,
The devotional service of millions and millions and millions of hours of selfless service are behind the Vanipedia, like the books. The books are there, the Prabhupada's lectures are there. So it is very inconceivable. But then the question is, do you read the books? Or you just look at them? Prabhupada said, my books are not for distribution only. They're for reading them. So now we have entered a digitalized age. That digitalized age comes at a cost. Can you imagine, all the Vedic scriptures you can have on a little chip like this? Hope I could eat it and digest it and understand it that way also, no? But I have no assimilation system for the chip. It's a phenomenon. This is a phenomenal world. Going into dimensions and dimensions and dimensions. And the bigger you see it, the smaller you become. But the smaller you become doesn't mean you become without importance. Because that's the beauty about Lord Krishna. Satyam Shivam Sundaram. He's eternal. He's all auspicious, most beautiful. And everything which comes from him, Om Purnam Mada Purnam Idam Purnat Purnam Mudakshate Purnasya Purnam Madaya Purnam Evavachisyate. You know that verse?
Yeah.
By heart?
By heart.
Please tell us
Wow.
the translation.
Аз съм пълното цяло, което е изградено от безкрайно много пълни цялости.
Everything which comes from the Absolute is also absolute. Purnam means complete, full. There's nothing missing. Even this phenomenal world, which really seems to be very contradictory, it fulfills some highest of the purposes. So because we cannot really relate to that, then we are easily captured by fads and fashions. We human beings are easily carried away by fads and fashions. There's one story. Nanda Baba, father of Krishna, he said, I've done so many sins. I'm going to go to Kumbh Mela. I'm going to take snan in Prayagraj. Prayagraj means the king of all the pilgrimage places, which is the Triveni, where the Ganga, Yamuna, and Saraswati meet. So this holy place, Nanda Maharaj was living in Vrindavan. He was saying, I'm going to go and make a pilgrimage to Triveni to purify myself for all my mistakes I made in my life. And Krishna heard him. Baba, why you are gathering some cloths? Oh, my dear, I'm going to go on this pilgrimage. He says, Baba, you're going to go away? You're going to go, yes. I heard from the sages that's very important that we purify ourselves by going to another place to bathe ourselves in the holy rivers. Krishna said, no, Baba, you should not go. I don't want you to go anywhere. I want you to be with me. And the Krishna was nagging, Father says. Then Krishna says, in Vrindavan is everything. Why you want to go somewhere else? What does it mean? And here we're talking about Krishna's father. So the next morning, after that, Nanda Maharaj was thinking, shall I cancel my trip he had already told others, I'm going to go on this trip. So the next morning he went to Pavan Sarovar from the temple of Nanda Baba. So on the top of the mountain, of Lord Shiva's mountain. So he went down, and down there is the Pavan Sarovar. It's also the area of the Bhajan Kutir of Sanatana Goswami. So he went down, and next to the Pavan Sarovar, there was a very big man. He was lying on the ground, and he was groaning. Oh, oh, oh. Nanda Baba was curious. Who are you, my dear? What is your problem? Why you're giving this pain sounds? Oh, he said, sorry, I'm the personification of Prayagraj. Everybody's coming there to bathe in me to get rid of their sins. Now I'm overloaded by so many sins. So I've came here to Pavan Sarovar to clean myself from all the sins. And the Baba said, what? Prayagraj is coming to it's a little pond. I mean, Pavan Sarovar is quite nice, but compared, he's coming to take snan here. Because Nanda Baba cannot realize who is Krishna. He has sometimes some suspicion, because so many things are taking place. Who is this little boy defeating me? Tell me, don't go to Prayagraj. Now Prayagraj is coming here. So the whole Krishna Lila is such a magic mystery. It is just, if you are lucky, you can receive all this within your heart with the simple faith of the devotee. The devotee has a simple faith. He's not analyzing everything. The tendency of analyzing everything is a very dangerous tendency, just like familiarity. We are worshippers of Jnana Sunya Bhakti. That Srila Sridhar Maharaj explained nicely. Haribol, Haribol. Jnana Sunya Bhakti. Do you know what that means? Just see, the secrets of bhakti have been developed, they're everywhere if you look for them, but Jnana Sunya means shunning the Jnana. Sunya. To shun the Jnana in bhakti. Don't give attention to your trying to understand, organize, get systems and everything. No need. Just embrace Krishna in your heart and chant in ecstasy. Jnana Sunya Bhakti is the Gopis Bhakti. Gopis, they don't think, oh, Krishna is Supreme Personality of God. I'm the lucky girl. I have a love feeling for the Supreme Lord. They don't care. They care Krishna. Krishna has a headache. You all know that story. That's a classical story. Krishna has a headache. Ooh, what he needs. I go to hell for that. Who cares, If he is getting cured from his headache, that degree of sacrifice, not thinking, not at all, everything coming from the heart pouring, and that's his real bhakti. Nevertheless, look at all the books. Jnana Sunya, they're full of knowledge. I mean, they're full of knowledge of the Leela, of the Dash avatars. They give you everything. The creation, sub-creation, the protection of the Manvantaras, everything is there. And then they said, It's only here, the love in the heart, which is important. Yesterday I heard a class, small piece, when Prabhupada says, real devotion is preaching. I just heard that. I said, wow, real devotion is preaching. I mean, like we may want to have our devotion by our puja, by our gyan, by our meditation, by this, by that. But Prabhupada said, no, the real devotion is you have to talk about it. You have to tell others about it. So when we preach, like the shloka I quoted yesterday, Yaidang paramam guyam mad bhaktesha vidashyati. That's what pleases Krishna. I'll give you an example. You're walking by a window and you're hearing some sound is coming from inside the window. And somebody's saying, Aksharada, Aksharada. Akshara is walking by. Now, is he going to stop and listen? Oh, what they're talking about me. Huh? They're talking about me. Wow, wow. And then whatever he listens, it will touch him very deeply. That's why we shouldn't talk behind people's back about them unless we say something really good. So when we talk about Krishna, Krishna is listening now. Oh, what they're talking there in little Bulgaria, Sofia Preaching Center. And who's talking? And who's singing? And who's cooking? And who's going out with these books? Who's taking the Krishna conscious serious? Without too much thinking, just in your heart. So, Prabhupada once said, when you read Bhagavad Gita, please at least theoretically accept these are the words of the Supreme Personality of God. And I'm going to receive it like this. This is God's advice for me and for everyone. So then you'll be very successful in your study of Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, if you try to rationalize, put everything through the court of your rational experience world, you will fail. So this familiarity is about becoming too close and analyzing each other. It will not help us. What to speak of dwelling on the bad qualities of somebody else? That is very, very bad. Srila Bhakti Rakshira Maharaj, he made very emphatic. He says, if somebody has a fault, it's one thing. If you think about the fault, it's another thing. If you talk about the fault, then this fault will come to you to begin with. And he also given us, it is like spitting into the air or into a fan. The Americans, they have this saying, when the shit hits the fan, then you have the shit all over you. That's what the meaning of that. So it's not very nice to have shit all over you. So therefore, these things, these instructions are crucial instructions. They're because our human nature is well known. Like the saying goes, to err is human, but it is more human to blame it on somebody else. Oh, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. It was the circumstances. This guy or that or that. It's Trump's fault. Must be. The guy's so bad. Whatever type of blame game we also call it. They're no good. Chaitanya Charitamrita says you should neither glorify nor criticize another Vaishnava. Or to speak about fighting with them. Rah, 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 rah. Never. If somebody insults me, then how to react? That's the tough one, no? You're such an idiot. How did you know? How did you find that out? I'm an idiot. Of course I'm an idiot. Otherwise, how would I have come to the world here and have to meet people like you? Now that is sarcastic. But truly, if anybody points at your fault, I'm a fallen soul. You got it. You got it. But the thing is that the scriptures prohibit that. You're not supposed to dwell upon other people's fault. It's not helpful for bhakti. They may have what to speak if you dwell on somebody's fault on the basis of false accusation. Then you're not only this is not gossip, this is called blasphemy. So if you entertain your mind in blasphemy, then how can you get bhakti? Blasphemer of a devotee or whatever. So Chaitanya Charitamrita says, do not criticize and do not glorify anybody. But then Prabhupada in the purport, he says, that order not to glorify may be broken sometimes in special occasions. But in general, not. It's none of your business. Whatever other people are or not are, it's none of your business. Srila Bhakti Rakakshirama said, the environment is perfect. The only mistaken one is you. Try to digest that one. The environment is perfect. We always want to change the environment, no? Oh, like we were discussing yesterday. Is a devotee supposed to follow the law? Even if the law is stupid? Anyway, we answered that yesterday. But the environment includes your own criteria and appreciation. In other words, we are not without individual responsibility. When we bow our head to the ground, this very act of putting my head on the ground, this is more than symbolic. It means you are far above me. Here I am at your feet. Please. In Vaishnava philosophy, in Vaishnava life, we always offer obeisances to each other. Always. Every day. Wife should offer obeisances to the husband. Husband should offer obeisances to the wife. That helps. You offer obeisance, you say, hey, Prabhu, you're so stupid what you said yesterday. It helps. It helps us to understand that even the difficulties are tests which are coming to us for becoming more close to Krishna. So I was also listening to this Prabhupada said yesterday. It was a real are real. Sometimes these Prabhupada reels are really amazing because they give his wisdom in a nutshell. So in that one he says, the pain of the devotee, the pains of the devotees, they're really nothing. They're simply sent by Krishna for awakening him, for making him more humble, giving more devotion to him. So, tatenu kampam shushamik shamanu. That is, we shouldn't complain if there's some pain. Old age means pains, naturally. So this is the one shloka. Then we have another shloka here. Yadrichaya nritam prabhya sukalpam ihadur labam svarte pramatasya vayo gatam tvam maya yeshvara. By good fortune, a soul may obtain a healthy human life, an opportunity rarely achieved. But if he is nonetheless deluded about what is best for him, O Lord, your illusionary Maya will cause him to waste his entire life. That was spoken by Vasudeva to Lord Krishna. Like sometimes the preaching comes this way, the conversations of the holy people or the great personality, you know. Look, Krishna, what your Maya is doing. By your Maya, people waste their entire life. They got a human form of life and they don't want to listen. People are scared. People are scared about anything which reduces their sense gratification. If you say anything which they have to change their lifestyle or that, they go, Yesterday, I was preaching in the subway, and I was chanting, and then I said, whoever heard the name of Krishna, even once, he will be very highly blessed. And all the people sitting there, their mind, their face went like, how nice, how nice. They appreciated it. And then I said, but if you want to be even more blessed, then you don't eat the animals anymore. And the faces changed. How he's going to get on our case, So everybody wants to be blessed, but nobody wants to pay the price. That is, we are. This Maya energy is so powerful. It captures us. It makes us slaves. Therefore, conclusion is protection. We have to protect this human form of life by connection with the holy. Holy name, holy books, holy devotees, holy seva. Everything should be connected with the holy. Anyway, these were the two shlokas for your welcoming. Now we get another shloka from you. This is for how to dive deep into Krishna consciousness. Mahatma Gandhi said, whenever I have trouble, then I open the Bhagavad Gita and immediately I'm getting help from that shloka, which is there. It's like something like Krishna's supreme controller, so that you open this page to now, it's Krishna's control. No? Nobody can say that I manipulated the topic or something. No. So here we go. Mahaprabhu descended to teach the supreme bhakti laced with renunciation. Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga Shikshartameka Purusha Purana Sri Krishna Chaitanya Shariradari Kripam Buddhir Yastvang Ahang Prapatye. This is actually very often quoted. The Acharyas, they quote this verse. Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga. What does it mean? It is quoted in Chaitanya Chandrodaya Nataka by Kavi Karnapura and in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita in Madhya Lila. Let me take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, who has descended in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach us real knowledge. His devotional service and detachment from whatever does not foster Krishna consciousness. He has descended because he is an ocean of transcendental mercy. Let me surrender unto his lotus feet. Again, let me take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, who has descended in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach us real knowledge. His devotional service and detachment from whatever does not foster Krishna consciousness. He has descended because he is an ocean of transcendental mercy. Let me surrender unto his lotus feet. So what did he bring? Real knowledge, his devotional service, and detachment from whatever does not foster Krishna consciousness. So this is Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga. The story of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so important and so spectacular. And being born in a village in Bengal, and your life and your teachings being discussed in Sofia 500 years later. That in itself is something which should give us a, what is this? Like if you look back into Bulgarian history, or in my case, I was born in Germany, into German history. What real wisdom stands out from the great thinkers of the past, which today influences people? Of course, you can find many beautiful quotations of some poets and this. I'm not saying that they're all brainless. They are also, but what sticks out as something which gives light and guidance to the world today, including all the great Bulgarian writers, philosophers. Which of that marks any impact on the heart of the people today? Of course, if they would know it. Kant, for example, is very famous, no? Immanuel Kant. You must have heard when you were reading in school. Oh, who is Kant? He was in favor of slavery. He said, yes, it's okay. You can take these people from other nations, just make them your servants. You know how they dealt with slaves? So Kant becomes disqualified. What? He was in favor of slavery? And you like that, you can practically cancel culture, they call it, no? Cancel out if they have not, but I'm not talking about the canceling, I'm talking about the inspiration. Who's getting inspiration in Bulgaria today from any Bulgarian historical figure or moral figure or value figure.
Figura.
In Germany, we only hear about
В Германии само чуваме за
Carlo Magno, kings, and like
за някакви
they're just famous for killing a few people here and there.
са убили няколко хора тук или там.
Somebody told me the other way, if you want to become famous, you have to do many bad things. Then you will be famous. You will be remembered later. If you do good things, then nobody cares. So now the fasting breaking is over. Where's the grain? So we can break our Ekadasi.
Зърнено. Да, аз имам. Имаш ли?
Anything, just one little grain to break Ekadasi.
Ай, той хляб има.
So, but we are sitting here and talking about somebody who appears 500 years ago in a Bengali village. That village is in South America, we say it's where the wind turns around.
I have more even.
Thank you. See, Kadasi Paran Ki Jai. You can give the others also, they should also break a card. If they didn't break it yesterday. So, Jai Sri Radhe, Jai Sri Radhe. What example I was just giving?
About famous persons who
Yeah.
You were
impact
saying
on
Yeah.
the wind turns around the village.
Yes. I mean, it's a few rice fields are there. Now by Prabhupada in ISKCON, it has become an important place, no? And even by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, but by now people pay attention, but otherwise, rice field. Just some rice fields out there. No? So, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his teachings are reaching us in such a monumental way. If you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, and if we get the grace of having appreciation of who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that he is the Yuga Avatar, Hare Nama Eva Kevalum, Kalauna Steva Gatia Anyata. That is amazing. Hare Nama Eva Kevalum. That simply by chanting the name of Krishna, you can leave the world of Maya and enter into devotional service. Somebody said, it was a beautiful story. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he was walking on the roof of the temple in Calcutta. He was chanting. And there were two devotees. They were like coming out of the stairs and they saw him. They saw him walking up and down. Yeah, on the roof of the temple. And the devotees were like with each other, no? Then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati saw them. So he walked over to them and he said, so what do you want? What is your idea? Then one of them said, Prabhupada, I have a doubt. I'm following you for the last 20 years. I'm chanting. I'm going out, I'm preaching, I'm eating prasadam, everything you have said, I have followed until today. Yes, and what? I don't feel anything. And the other friend said, yeah, I also don't feel anything. Probably looked at them. Really? You feel nothing? Feel nothing. Prabhupada, his eyes lit up. Wonderful. Then you can continue in Krishna consciousness. What a strange exchange, no? Maybe, maybe not. Because sometimes we want to say, oh yes, Krishna consciousness, I'm feeling bath, praise, raga, pretty. Feeling? Sentimental feeling? It's a very, very interesting subject. Emotion? Devotion? If you really feel devotion, then you're so absorbed in your devotional service, you have no time to pay any attention to your emotions. The emotion is the motor. It's not the object to observe. And the fact is, if you stay in Krishna consciousness, you live a healthy lifestyle. This is such an amazing impact. You could never go on 1 minute if you would not have something working inside. Like for devotees, to be a vegetarian is no philosophy. Krishna don't like this. Krishna don't like it, I have nothing to do with it. And like this, many other things. We may have some inner struggles. We may have some attachments, but devotion is that conviction that you want to please Krishna with what you're doing. Anyway, I'm telling you all these things just as I have experienced them or as I've heard about them. I cannot claim that I have realized anything about this because in one way or another these are very high topics. Very high topics. Pure bhakti is such a high topic. So how somebody can talk about pure bhakti if he doesn't have pure bhakti? Doesn't work, no? But he can talk about those who have spoken about pure bhakti. That he can do. And why does he do that? Because he believes in them. He feels, yes. Srila Prabhupada, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they are the purifiers of this age. I believe that. Of course, many other people teach similar things in different languages, in different cultures around the world. And if it hints into the same direction, I also believe in that. I'm not narrow-minded. It's our way or the highway. Huh? No. And Prabhupada said that when he came, he says, I didn't come here to change your religion. He said, I came to enhance your relationship with God, your quality, we say God is great, but how great is He really? If we give a class here which lasts for 100,000 years, then we will simply have touched upon a slight glimpse of the Lord's glory. That's what Ananta Shesh has 1,000 heads, is glorifying Krishna. Remember, we cannot find an end of it. The sages of Naimisharanya. How long was the sacrifice? 1,000 year sacrifice they planned to counteract the age of Kali. For 1,000 years were yagya. Anyhow, these divine instructions, they give us a lot to think. And the devotees of Lord Krishna, they always delight in talking on these type of topics. They delight. Bodha yantas parash param, kata yantas chamam nityang, tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, my devotees, they always delight exchanging with each other their different appreciations and their feeling. But then comes, after that delight of Harikatha, comes a second part. And that second part is active devotion. Active preaching, active working. Without karma and without jnana. That is very difficult to find. That somebody has listened so much and now it's translated and it transforms and now he is. I remember one devotee, he was disciple of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. His name was Satish Prabhu. He joined the Gaudiya Math in Mayapur. And he was a constructor. He knew how to construct. Later he became Nayanananda Das Babaji Maharaj. And he also became the president of the World Vaishnava Association after Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj. So he told me, he actually stayed in our Vinda Kunja ashram with Srila Puri Maharaj. He told me, I was prohibited to preach. My Guru Deva says, you are not allowed to go and preach. Because he was constructing the temples. And Prabhupada did not want him to leave the service. No, I want to go with the preachers. No, you stay here and you make this, because it was constructing temples and ashrams. Great responsibility. So in devotional service doesn't always mean only talking. There's many, many other devotional services which are also very important to be done. So if you're ready to do devotional service without remuneration, without speculation on prestige or this or that, you're really doing that just for the pleasure of Krishna, oh, this is very high. This is very high. So can you imagine, Prabhupada was sent to preach for the rest of his life. Nayananda's Babaji Maharaj was prohibited from preaching. But the instruction came from the same spiritual master. So, Akshara, what is the subject of today? You had
My subject. Yeah, about what can how we can discriminate. No, actually, where we can draw the line of difference between a politician and preacher nowadays.
wow. That's the topic you put on the table. The difference between a politician and a preacher. Namo Vishnu Daya Krishna Vistaya Bhutale. I pray to Prabhupada to get something into my head, you know. Namo Vishnu Daya Krishna Vistaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishisha Shunyavadi Paskatyadi Sada. When we think about politics, we are allowed in great reverence to think about the Raja Rishis. Raja Rishis means what they do has to do for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord, nothing else. But there's not only Raja Rishis, there's also Vaishya Rishis. Whoever gave lots of money to Prabhupada for his mission, Prabhupada called them Vaishya Rishis. They're so intelligent, they could make such a good amount of money, but still they were able to give it and make a temple here, make this and that. So Prabhupada was very appreciative of them. So we have the Raja Rishis as a politician, we have the Vaishya Rishis, those who are in the commerce, but they are having the right attitude and the right understanding. Then we also have the instruction that devotees can do anything. So the word politician is a word which doesn't give enough clarity. Because Srila Prabhupada wanted to have a devotee in the White House. Did you know that?
I have heard.
You've heard it. Prabhupada said, I wanted to have one devotee to come into the White House.
We have one now.
Yes. Prabhupada's wish was fulfilled. And Tulsi Gabbard is a very, very interesting case. I know her personally since she was 17. I've seen her whole career developing. Unbelievable career. Anyhow, that is one thing. A preacher of divine love he has to be able to adjust to time, place, and circumstance. I remember Bhakti Dayal Swami, later became Narayan Maharaj from Hungary. He was in Hungary and he was locked in. He could not come out there. So he wrote to Srila Prabhupada. He said, if I go back to Hungary, I will not be able to leave again because of my status as a previous refugee. The preaching is very nice. The people want to hear about Krishna very much. He also preached in Bulgaria or had some Bulgarian disciples. So then Prabhupada answered him. He said, if the preaching is nice there, then why do you want to leave? this hit me very hard. Because we're going from one place to another for finding good places, but if we are in some place and people appreciate them, we can also stay there and develop with them whatever is there. That's also necessary. So he said to them, why you want to leave? And then he said, the communists, they have their philosophy. And we just say, Krishna is the center of everything in the communistic society, then everything is okay. How you say? One for all and all for one. One for all is Krishna, and all for one should also be Krishna, because otherwise it doesn't work. If you say a polit committee member of the Communistic Party, they don't stand for the welfare of all. That's why all the countries are frustrated with their capitalist, communist, whatever system is there. The people are always completely upset with the local administration in general. So a devotee has to be the visionary, to understand time, place, and circumstance for the respective place where Krishna has positioned him. So that the social impact which is being made will actually benefit the whole society. But we have these terms, minorities. Like if you're in a minority position, then the situation is different. Like in India today, we are not in the minority. We're in the majority. Now, that brings up a whole different set of questions. How much can we impose upon others the values of Krishna consciousness when we are in the majority, but at the same time being good people or respecting things like freedom of religion, etc., etc. So this is a very good question. In Peru, we constructed a temple on top of a mountain. Very beautiful, top of a mountain. Everybody drives by there in a highway. They see this temple on the mountain. I can show you the video when that was inaugurated. And that temple is to the unity of spirituality. That is the meaning of this temple. And there is a writing around, anybody who's searching for God without harming others is on the right path. That's written around. And then there's the symbols and the names of God in all the cultures and that. Very beautiful. When it was inaugurated, even the Catholic Church sent a representative. and the original tribal religions came, everything. It was very beautiful. Have you seen it? No? I would show you. It's amazing. So religion and politics. It's a complicated topic. But Sarve Shukenu Bhavantu is the answer. That those who follow the line of devotion to Krishna, they want everybody to be happy. So if somebody is happy praying to Allah, why should we disturb him? But if he wants to kill the cow, then we cannot agree with this. So if we are in the majority, then we're in problem. That situation going on in India right now, that the Muslims want to kill the cows and the Hindus have to protect the cows.
Теперь иска да...
Very complicated
иска да
situation.
защитят кравите. Много сложна ситуация.
In other countries, not complicated
В други
because
страни не е
nobody wants to
сложно,
protect
защото
the
никой не
cows.
иска да защитава
So
кравите.
they just kill the cows everywhere.
Навсякъде ги убиват.
But then they pay the price for
Но
it.
те също плащат цената за това.
Ukraine is paying the price, and Russian boys who were killed in the war, they're paying the price for having gone against Dharma.
Се убиват там, също плащат цената за това, че са...
And the famous Russian guy, Tolstoy, he gave this famous statement: as long as there will be
Докато има
slaughterhouses, there will also be battlefields.
и
I mean, we are in a battlefield,
ние сме в бойно поле.
and we are surrounded by slaughterhouses.
И ние сме обиколени от кланици.
So there's nothing surprising about it.
Значи няма нищо
Even Tolstoy knew it,
удивително, дори той
and many others also
много
know
други
it.
също го знаем.
And I'm disgusted with
И
politics.
аз съм отвратен от политика.
Because even, like, tell you Germany,
Да ти кажа,
the German government right now,
немското правителство сега
completely crazy.
са напълно луди.
They're so crazy and they're doing so many crazy things. They're not working for Germany nor for Europe. They're working for secret agendas.
Европа ни за тайни такива
The deep state, you must have heard, no?
дълбоката държава, сигурно се чува за нея.
Да.
So, but then there is the opposition,
Също има опозиция.
those who criticize what these people do.
Тези, които
And they can find the faults in that, what is going on, but nobody's coming out with anything good.
могат да намерят грешките в това, което се случва, но не могат да
You know what they
излязат.
say?
Ти знаеш,
We want to go back to the old times.
ние се върнем, искаме да се върнем
What
в
old
старите
times?
времена. Кои стари времена?
The old times which before the latest influences. They thought it was good then.
Старите времена
There was nothing good.
имало нещо хубаво там. Нямаше нищо хубаво.
So the question is very tough.
Въпросът е много сложен.
Politicians.
Политиците.
How can politicians be effective
Как може политиците да са
doing the proper thing?
да правят правилното нещо?
Like myself, I'm working in India now,
Например, аз работя в Индия сега.
and I have come in contact with quite a few politicians.
И аз се свързвам с няколко политици.
I am not telling them
Аз не им казвам,
to change political systems,
да променят политическата система.
but I'm telling them to please look after
Но
Vrindavan
аз им казвам, моля ви, грижете се за Вриндаван.
and to make this holy land of Brajamandala
Свята земя на Брашмандала.
the incredible, amazing, unique
Невероятно
place of divine experience, so that the whole world will be benefited of seeing it and will not be turned away because they came all the way from far to see that there's a place full of dirt
място пълно с букуци
and other neglect.
и други занемираности.
So this is my message for the politicians in India. Come on, let's get the show together. You can send rockets to the sky, but you cannot clean up here and organize this place like it's supposed to be. And then there is a very big obstacle
Голямо препятствие.
in the world today. It's called secularism. People claim to be beyond religions.
Твърдят, че са над религиите.
They say we are secular. We cannot side with any particular type of faith.
Обвържем се с която и да е определена религия.
But secularism means in favor of atheists.
Означава да сме привързани към атеизма.
So it's not very good idea.
И това не е много хубава идея.
So we need the vision of the great souls to guide the Mahajans. We need the vision of the Mahajans. But you know, amongst the Mahajans, there's quite a few who were politicians.
Които са политици. Много.
Bhishma, Bhishma is there. Janaka Rishi. Janaka Maharaj is there. He was a Kshatriya.
And when,
Bali Maharaj.
and when we look in on the side of those who try to preach, but can how we can actually discriminate between preaching and making politician on the field of religion.
Wow, again.
Yeah. Actually, I was looking a little bit more in this direction.
Yeah, say it again.
How to make the discrimination between preaching and making politician on the field of religion.
Making politician
On the
or
field
making
of
politics
Yeah, politics. Yeah. Sorry.
in the name.
On the field of religion.
That cannot be answered because it's too delicate. For example, if you're preaching Krishna consciousness right now in China, you're walking on a very thin line. Have you heard about Falun Gong?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
What's water? I put there. Falun Gong is some kind of yoga movement type, probably a little bit Taoistically influenced yoga movement, and some other they fell into were considered against communism. And they have been killed, and very bad things happened to them. So it's a very different circumstance for one and the other. What to do? I think many devotees who I know, they just say, forget about everything. Just chant your rounds, read the books, and tell your friends about Krishna, and that's it. Don't be concerned with anything else. Myself, not like that. I'm going and I'm seeing the river is so dirty and I'm upset, and I make noise. In front of there's the mountain of Radharani, the Varshana, no? And right in front of Varshana there's a little canal going. A canal full of dirt. So I became very upset and I spoke about it. And I cleaned it up. And then 2 years later I came back and it was dirty again. So the mountain of Radharani was dirty. Now it's clean. So some effect was there for these things. It's not, I mean, we went there with 80 people cleaning up. Things like that. People are, who are these guys? And this is still going on. Braj Mandal is very big, no? And then the question of recycling comes, what to do with the dirt, no? So some people say, like when I went to Vienna, in Vienna there was one devotee, his name was Muni Maharaj, he left the world already. So when he heard about the spoon revolution, you know what the spoon revolution, no? He said, oh, Paramahansa Maharaj became vegetarian. So, why you care about vegetarianism? Well, the reason I care about vegetarianism is because I think those who are becoming vegetarians, they're the best people to preach to. They're the most easy. They're responding to something. But I can't say that when I speak about spoon revolution. I can say, hey, I'm going to tell you about this so you come to the temple. So what did Prabhupada do? What did Sridhar Maharaj do? So many different approaches. They're not all the same. There's variety. Variety is the spice of life. Keshava Maharaj.
Разнообразието е поправка на живота.
Therefore also I don't have a real clear answer.
Yeah, I'm sure.
The clear answer, because my answer should not be critical of somebody who does or somebody who doesn't. Huh? That is, it's kind of unfair. Huh? And so I try to avoid that. But I still have my convictions, and when I was invited in 2012 to the Equashenduna meeting in the mountains of Colombia, there was a meeting of the native tribes, and there was also a representative of United Nations and like that. And what was the topic? Equashenduna means guardian of Mother Nature. So our topic was, we human beings have to be guardians of Mother Nature. If we see a river is being polluted, we should enter into action. If we see that the oceans are full of plastic, we shouldn't be indifferent to it. If we see that injustice is done, for example, the natives have been robbed of their lands everywhere. It's still going on. It's still going on. If there's natives, the people always want to steal their land, put mine exploitation in the land. No? So, because this was actually an initiative which came from the natives. Equashenduna means, in their language, the guardians of Mother Nature. And it becomes politics in a way. I showed yesterday, I showed to you the movie when we were singing in the mountains, the song against they were going to make a blockage, how you call it, a dam in the river in the Sierra Nevada, and that what was going to take water away from all the natives in that area. So we are friends with them, they come to us, we take Prasham together, and they said, what shall we do? They're going to dam our... So we went and we made a song. Did you see that song? Against the blocking of the river in the Andes. Maybe you have seen it. Anyway, so we made this song and we sang it together with the natives, and it became like very popular and everybody was singing it, and the dam was cancelled. I wouldn't say just because of our song, please. No, that would be a bit mad, but it had impact, and the people got together. We don't want this, because before they made another dam, and the whole region dried out, and the people, they died there, or they had to run away, the indigenous people who lived there. Those dams have great environmental impacts. So, yes, that's politics. Is it politics, or is it is protection of cow, protection of, we are supposed to be go-rakshas, protectors of cows. Yeah, how can you protect the cow if you don't protect the water which the cow is going to drink? So it's very difficult to really get a clear idea. And somebody said, well, you could have chanted 64 rounds every day instead of getting involved with this and that. No. So, I would resume it that way. If you chant Hare Krishna and you try believe in Prabhupada, just follow your heart and do what you feel you have to do. Because there's no hard and fast rule. There's not, oh, you should do it by this way, by that way, and like that. Maybe you have heard of Krishna West. Krishna West.
No.
In ISKCON, there's a movement. They're saying, oh, we should only behave like Westerners when preach in the West. It's a whole movement. The Krishna West movement. They dress in suits. They dress in suits and ties and no sikas. No, we are Krishnas, but we are Western style. In ISKCON, it's a big polemic, no? Rejecting, oh, you're wrong, you're right, you're wrong, you're right, no? So, for me, I always was Krishna West, because when I went to the communist countries, I had to dress in pants and like Westerner. It's time, place, and circumstance more than anything else. Huh? It's not a movement. It's not it's something. If you want to go somewhere and preach, Nicaragua was dictatorship regime. South America, so difficult. But we went there and everything was adapt to the circumstances, basically. And Krishna consciousness is like that. You adapt to the circumstance and don't make too much of it. If you feel that you should have your hair the way you have it in your job, what the big deal? Why starting having a movement on hairstyles? Huh? But I like my Sika. I still have it. 50 years I have my Sika. So and probably in this lifetime I won't change that either. But for me that never was an issue. I think also we are the preachers in the West, we are also in a learning process. And Prabhupada gave us the key. And Prabhupada said himself, I gave you this framework. You have to fill it out.
May I just add a little bit more to that?
Sure.
Like for example, we have this very important instruction that in terms to actually be in the process of bhakti, we should go out and preach, to preach to outsiders.
Yes.
And actually to bring some ideas to some person. Like for example, the other day one lady came on the playground asking me if I know about protecting our kids, and he gave me some flyer. But inside this flyer you could see some kind of influence which is clearly political. And I said, don't worry, we take care for our kids at home. But in the same way, if I'm in a position to go out on the street or somehow to represent Krishna consciousness to the outside world, I have to have some kind of a approach, and how actually I discriminate it from like making politics, like trying to influence others with my ideas, and trying to convince them to follow and so on, like and being a preacher in this way, like if you try to
Now you really made it complicated. Because you brought children into the picture.
No, this was just an example.
Yeah, but the example is what you based on your point. Children are there. Children is such a delicate subject. Because we have the example of Prahlad Maharaj, we have the example of Gurukuls in ISKCON, we have the examples of the secular education concepts. This is very complicated. It is, again, I come with the same answer. You have to follow your heart according to the circumstances. And no rules you set up which is applicable to everybody. And by those who want to set up standards for others, usually they are not very sensitive and they may even disturb the others by doing so. But if you ask me, I think we are far, far, far from perfection. And that includes what Prabhupada gave to me. I'm talking about my Gurudev, but for the practical application of his things, we are far away from perfection. But it wasn't his mistake. Like, for example, I opened the Gurukula twice. Actually, many more times, but twice very seriously. And we had 20 students, 20 boys. There was also a girl part that was small, it was not 20 boys. And I was there, I was looking. These boys were so happy. They were practicing everything, getting up early, memorizing shlokas, becoming kirtaniyas. Wow, all these things, really, really far off. But there was a big problem. The boys were becoming very devotional and very advanced, but their parents were not. So when they went home, and then the whole thing became complicated, even the parents, in the end it became a nightmare. In the end, brahmacharis had to finance the education of these kids. The parents didn't want to really. They were thinking, no, I sent my kid to public school. I don't have to pay anything. To have a whole setup for children, it's very costly. So in the end, really, I gave up because I couldn't be there myself, and I didn't want it. The whole thing ambiguously in the hand of people. I don't know how good the quality was then. So we resorted in sending our children to village schools, not the big city schools. Because in the villages things more innocent. But if I look in the long run, I think our children did quite well. Of those generations, no? They did quite well, but far away from perfection was the whole process. Very complicated. Great amount of instability. Our movement is very full of instability. In England, they have Avanti schools. Have you seen them? Are they in your region?
Kind of.
Have you visited one?
No, the South London ISKCON is supporting them and cooking for them, and I visited them.
Because they have a great Indian community, they made, I think the Avanti schools is the most advanced stage of educating kids nowadays.
It's Indian system.
Not only Indian, whoever wants dharmic values.
Yeah, but it came from Dharma.
It's supported because there's many Indians there. In India, there's the RSS schools. The RSS has like 32,000 schools in India. Big scale. Very, but they're all impersonalists. And they educate the children in person.
Yeah, and it's funded, and actually the children can go there, study, but they're studying. It's funded, and children go there to study, and they study whatever they gave them. Or it's because they
Where?
follow. In these schools that you mentioned, or the kids really are in this tradition, and that's why they go there, or they just go there because they have to go to school.
Yeah, I think in England they go there because it's the choice of the parents and the children to go to those. You know the Waldorf schools?
Yes.
We have Waldorf school in Sofia.
Yes. There is.
Maybe not only one.
Maybe not just one. Maybe not just one, is saying what to do.
Madhurya, you heard about Waldorf schools?
Чували си за Валдорф училищата?
Вадова.
Waldorf.
Yes, yes.
Монтесори.
Монтесори.
Имаме и Дънов.
There is
Your children went to Waldorf school?
No, but I heard from one devotee which their two daughter was there, but he's not like not happy. He in Bulgaria maybe.
The problem is that there are high prices and not all.
Very, very high price.
Many people can go there. The kids. I like it. I know that, but
But
it's not possible
the idea
to
of
take
Waldorf
kids.
is okay. In Bulgaria, being Sadun, Peter Dönov,
Peter Dunov made schools?
yes, in
Yeah, the
Bulgaria they
followers,
have schools.
yes.
Hmm?
Yes.
Имаме слънчева педагогика.
А?
Слънчевата педагогика, но Петър Дънов се преподава в училище и в детска градина.
Here in Sofia, you have Peter Dunov schools.
Yes.
They're recognized by the government.
Yes.
Always have some tricks to.
But they are recognized.
And the Peter Dunov schools are not expensive.
Not so like Waldorf.
They're in the high level. It's not normal. I don't know how it's done.
Baptishevsky's son was there.
He goes to Peter Dunov school.
Yeah.
Gopinath.
Yeah.
Still?
No.
He's now in high school.
Till not high school and middle.
Primary school.
To 8th class in Bulgaria.
Great.
I think we always have the tendency of trying to get the easy solutions. But in general, there's no easy solutions. We have to really go the hard way. Time, place, and circumstances. What material to construct your house with? Well, the first thing to do is look how they construct houses where you are. It's the best. The second, what crops to grow somewhere. Best look what they're growing there. Huh? And then try to adopt, increase. I mean, there's discoveries, you know. If you go on YouTube, there's so many new discoveries about this, about that, about fertilizer, about little technical tricks, no? Good things. Do we know them? Have we applied? Do we apply them? Maybe not. So we also have to learn. It's a learning experience. I've never figured out how to do co-protection in Krishna consciousness. One time a devotee took initiation from Srila Sridhar Maharaj, from a rich family. And he came to me, he says, I just inherited 110,000 cows from my father.
Wow.
A Brazilian huge farm.
How many?
110,000. And they were all, it was a meat industry. Just a meat industry. And he asked, well, how am I going to handle this one? Finally, I advised him to make a deal with his brother, who is not a devotee, that his brother should take that part of the inheritance and he should give him something else. But I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to say. Another devotee, also in Brazil, his father owned fishing boats, big fishing boats, going out and fishing. And he was the second one in line to administrate it. So, what am I going to do? So very complicated subjects come up when you preach. And it's very exciting also, but also painful sometimes. I've had both glorious experiences and also very painful ones. Because wherever money is moving, economies are there. Economies have certain certain ways they can work. Without it, it doesn't work. And you want to change it? And when we preach the books. It's very beautiful. When we are asked about the practical application of it on all the I wish I know what is the answer. Actually, my final conclusion was, as a devotee, our preaching means to make friends with everybody. And within that friendship, try to give as much Krishna as we can. Because based on friendship, we will have some chance for some improvement, but maybe not perfection of any circumstance.
Maharaj, this was my question from
Yes.
Exactly what you just said. We need to preach, but how do we preach when we know so little from the Krishna consciousness?
When we
know so little from
When we know so little, that's not difficult. Just tell them Vanipedia and you did the perfection.
Yeah, but the question actually was...
And more than that, you can also give books of Prabhupada, books of Sridhar Maharaj. There's so many, the devotees have created so many beautiful contributions for society. And anybody who gets to know them will be greatly benefited. And you give that. I mean, depends on the circumstance, of course, who you talk to, but on what they expect from you. If you make them your friends and you invite them for prasadam, you already did the most beautiful thing for their life. I mean, specifics, again, time, place, and circumstance. Who you're talking about. You just this morning, the way you were talking about preaching in and around Christians, no, that was almost unique approach of yours. Okay, the circumstances bring you there. In Colombia, there was a very famous Catholic project. It was called Minute de Dios. And the man who was doing it, they were on television every day. And the one who founded that, some high priest, he used to come to our farm sometimes. And he said, I want to find out how you get the young people enthusiastic for religion. Because our young people, they don't want to know anything about it now. So he came to look, what is our solution?
Did he share his notes afterwards?
What?
Did he share his notes afterwards?
No.
The question maybe is, do we go straight and tell them this is Krishna, read, or we try to slowly start from somewhere else to lead them to Krishna? That is what I'm wondering.
No, you have to follow your heart. For example, what I said, the first and foremost is make friends with them. Then if they means whoever they are, they may be different. But once a person becomes more close to you, then you can also share more things with him. But then you must also decide how close you want to become to somebody, because They may also say, okay, yes, you come to me, I also want you. And then you're at their home and they want to offer you some food which you cannot eat. I mean, there's so many difficulties when you interact with people, no? So it's no easy answer. My dogma is the food. I cannot socialize intimately with people if they eat meat, because then I cannot accept their invitation. And you know, as soon as you reject the invitation to eat by somebody, they don't like it.
In my experience, if you explain, well, I wouldn't want to eat meat, sometimes they will make sacrifice and say, okay, we will prepare rice for you.
Yeah. These things, many people, even in their professional job, they have to sit with people where they eat meat. So they have to tolerate that, and they eat their food. I mean, there's so many circumstances which require adjustment. Really require adjustment.
Адаптиране.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.